Jerry, how many times have you taken a 3-2 heater down the middle for a strikeout?
Ooh. I can't recall unless I was badly fooled. I thought it was down or way away, but I'm geared up for the fastball 3-2. I would.
Okay, let me preface this. So you were a guy that always hunted the fastball, correct?
Got to hunt the fastball.
Okay, you hunt the fastball because we had Kowser on in Westberg, and we were talking where the conversation went here is when you think too much, things can get a little challenging. Now, we didn't mention this one player by name, but he's having some struggles in Baltimore, and he's a very talented player, number one prospect. Maybe we can read between the lines. But it seems to me he's a little bit clouded. Can you speak on, as a hitter, when you have other thoughts in your head, how to fight those inner demons, so to speak?
Well, when you're unsure of yourself, if you are on your heels, so to speak, and you got too many different swing thoughts, guy throwing 95 miles an hour, it's going to be on you. Instantly. Listen, hitting a baseball is probably the hardest thing to do in all of sports. Getting a base hit is the hardest thing to do in all of sports. So at that aspect, you got to simplify. Listen, you do all your work in the batting cage. You make sure you're prepared. You make sure that you've gone over scouting reports. So when I walk in the batter's box, I want to take most of the guesswork or the thinking out of it. I have a game plan. I'm going to go out and execute. And then when you're sitting 3-2, I'm hunting the fastball. Now, I'm not surprised if a guy likes to throw the breaking ball a lot, especially like the Boston Red Sox organization. They basically throw breaking balls all the time. But you're still sitting on that fastball and you're adjusting and not surprised at the breaking ball. Listen, we've all been there. I don't care if you're a rookie, if you're a top prospect, if you're a guy 10 years in the show, if you're an all-world athlete like Aaron Judge, who's having his struggles right now.
Yeah, we actually talked about that. Zach brought it up. He's one for his last 24?
Yeah, one for his last 24, up to 14 strikeouts. So even the best in the world struggle.
You're going to go through a stretch, whether it's 5 games, 7 games, 10 games, where it's just not going to be there. But at the same time, the veteran guys understand that. Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers went through it last week, just could not buy a hit. But he knew, hey, I just got to keep grinding. And I think the biggest thing is you got to understand, especially if you're a young player, you're going to have these struggles. But the main thing is I'm going to continue to grind, and I'm going to control what I can control, meaning if I got a 3-2 pitch, I'm hunting fastball. Anywhere in the zone, I'm putting my ace swing on. Now, if he throws a breaking ball, I'm going to do my best to stay back and put the ball in play hard.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just great context for all of this. And again, I understand and having every hitter has different philosophies. And I wanted the insight, especially for you, playing all the years. And again, I'm not going to mess this up. 16 years in the bigs, right? Got that right? Yes. Damn right I did. 16 years, that's a lot of experience, plus everything you get to watch from the other side. And even just being around the dugout, being around the players, it's just tremendous insight that I think that people would like to hear, because at the end of the day, these players are human, and it's a constant battle that guys have to go through to try to go out there and have success. Last question, let you get out of here. Rocco wanted to check in. Rocco, we wanted to ask about your Emmys, but we might save that for a different day.
You did promise me that we could talk about them one day, Jerry, but we can save it for another time.
I'll tell you what, I could stay on until I got about 8 minutes. So if you want to ask about the Emmys, go.
Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to the Emmys because I do want to hear about it.
Yeah,
I do want to say though,
because
I do want to hear the stories about the Emmys. I'm very intrigued. You guys have Joe Kelly out there in LA. I think we have Joe Kelly's long lost twin here in studio.
This is the
Zach.
question you wanted to ask.
No. It's not the question I want to ask. I just want to show Jerry the resemblance right now. If you could put the camera on Zach and let him see what Zach actually
wow.
So we have his long lost cousin. No, but for real, Jerry, you were talking about you watch Gunnar Henderson very closely when you pay attention to the Orioles. Have you been keeping up with the O's as a whole, like the Colton Cowsers and the Jordan Westbergs of the world? Because those are two of the guys that we just had on. Are you familiar with both of their games and what they've been doing this season? I'm sure.
I am. Cowser's been outstanding, especially I saw that Red Sox series where he just absolutely went nuts.
Oh yeah.
Remember, either it was on ESPN or MLB Network. Now I have the app, so I watch it on my phone, so I sometimes forget. But I tell you what, their success is so huge for the Orioles lineup because they provide depth, but also tremendous production.
Yeah.
And for them, I know it's been 6-8 days ago where they came back on the Red Sox. That just goes to show, I think that was the game that kind of put the league on notice a little bit. Now, everybody knew who the Orioles were coming in the season. Make no mistake about it. But were they going to experience some type of, sophomore slump because they're still a young team? I think them coming back at Fenway Park the way they did, and Gunnar Henderson hitting that opposite field bomb over the monster, that's just a tremendous game that they had against the Red Sox. But for them to have so many different players and different style of players, it's tough to pitch to. And I think they're a perfect complement to the young stars, the stars that they have now, and the young star like a Jackson Holliday, who's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He'll make his adjustments. I saw a stat where Willie Mays started his big career, like 1 for 26 or 1 for 29, somewhere in that ballpark. I think it turned out well for Willie Mays.
I think so too. Yeah.
Safe to say.
Still young. There. The bloodlines is there. His dad is there. Matt was a tremendous player.
Absolutely.
His uncle is a tremendous coach in college. So Jackson, although you hate going through the struggles, and I know he hates it, he's going to get through the storm. And I think this is going to make him even a tougher player. Yeah.
With that being said, Jerry, you talk about Jackson Holliday, and we brought him up at the beginning of the interview. With him right now, the way he's struggling, I asked Ryan this on our podcast that we do. At what point do you start to worry, or do you not worry at all? Do you know that he's going to figure it out, adjust like he has been able to do at every single level of baseball?
I think, I'm not going to be worried with him at all. Now, what I would do is I would see how his psyche is, right? That's the biggest thing for me. The way I've seen him, as far now, this is from afar, he looks like he's just fine. It's not like he's pouting or he's lost confidence in himself. Now, is he a little frustrated? Absolutely. I don't care if you're a 10-year vet. You're going to be frustrated you're not getting hits. You're going to be frustrated not getting hits in high school. You want to get hits. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll be fine. Jackson has the ability to go 15 for his next 30. He has that ability. It's just getting over that hump. Big leagues is no joke, guys. It is no joke. And Jackson will make his adjustments.
We're right there with you. And I think the context of it, when you look at 30 at bats, I'm like, man, you're good enough, or you play long enough. Man, 1 for 30, you better get used to that because you're going to be seeing a lot more of them. Jerry, I'm sure a couple things. You definitely have had. Do you remember your longest streak you've had of a hitless streak or one of your slumps?
Which year?
Well, see, and that answers it perfectly. See, you play long enough, you play 16 years, you're able to go through it, and that's a part of it. And you're right. He is handling himself well. And Colton Cowser described it yesterday to us, and I agree. When things are going wrong, it's like a mental warfare in your mind. How do you keep yourself calm, cool, and collected?
To be honest with you, right? I know your dad helped me so much. I'll never forget him calling me back to the back of the plane. I was in a slump. It was early in my career. I think it was in 1999 or 2000, 2001. I was struggling. Probably in a slump. And I remember your dad calling me back to the plane, him and Brady. He goes, "What's wrong with you?" I go, "Man, I just got getting hits." He goes, "Bro, you're going to have times where it's not there." I was hitting 230 at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I told him that. He goes, "Let me tell you something. You ain't lived." This is your dad talking. Until you're at the All-Star game, you're voted as an All-Star shortstop, and you're hitting 191. I think wherever he was at, he was voted one year as a starting shortstop. And he was hitting like 191 at the time. Now, your dad finished the year hitting like 285 and had an incredible year. But that just goes to show you can have a slow start and have an incredible second half. And that helped turn my season around. Derek Jeter, I remember I think it was 2004, he was hitting about $190. The first 2 months of the season, he gets to second base. We're in New York. I go, "Bro, you all right?" He goes, "Storm's coming, man. Storm's coming. Somebody's going to have to pay." That's the mindset. Your dad had it. Derek had it. I don't care who you are. You're going to go through a stretch where there's 50 at-bats, 100 at-bats, sometimes 200 at-bats, where guess what? It ain't going your way. But you got to fight through the storm, and then you flip the storm on the opposition.
I love that. That's going to be the storm's coming. I'm going to use that a lot. Hey, I messed up something with the breakdown. Well, don't worry. The storm's coming. The next one's going to be better.
Love that.
But all right, Jerry, I appreciate the breakdown with that.